Welcome to David Game College Horizon Pods. Today we shall talk about the cosmopolitan boarding life at David Game College. And with me is Angela Williams, who is the head of boarding and designated safeguarding lead of David Game College. Welcome, Angela. It's good to have you on board. Could you please tell me a little bit about your role as the head of boarding?
Oh, thank you for having me, first of all. Really nice to be here. And my role is head of boarding, as you mentioned, and basically oversees all the welfare of students who are under 18 who board in the David Game College, just right next door, to the college.
To the main college,
yes. I'm really looking forward to tell you about the setup we have, the boarding life, we can provide to the students as well.
Good, excellent. And well, tell me a little bit about the urban boarding and how DGC boarding is more unique than what you can find in many other boarding schools.
It's very different from a traditional boarding school because we're right in the city. I've been working in a different school for many years, and we don't have the big campus, but we have a prime location. We are right in the city, on the edges of the Zone 1, not far from the Tower of London. And the life, of the boarding is completely different from traditional because it's very fast-paced and it's more based on the city life because we're right next to the financial hut. And, we train the student not only, in academically intelligence, and also socially, and above the streetwise as well. Because for them, coming here, city life is not only, being looked after emotionally, not only, physically and also emotionally as well. Yes. And they will make sure they understand how to look after themselves before they go to university, because they will be live by themselves on their own, and and they know where can find the resources, and also they acquire a life skill here for us, and to be ready to be a responsible adult before they join university. For in short, basically we are the bridging gap, a bridge to nurture the skill before they go to university. But after home, there are a lot of parents that worry about how they can cope, how can they can live by themselves, whether they will ask for help. So we help them to, on that 2 years, you'll be more successful and ready for the adult life.
As well, don't they?
They're more independent. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay, well, David Game is an international school. So, how many different nationalities do you have in boarding in a particular year?
We have around this year we have 27 different nationalities. They come from Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Thailand, Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Turkey, and Azerbaijan. French,
Middle East as well.
Middle East, Saudi, American, and local student as well.
Very good, very good. And I think one thing that a lot of students get a shock when they come to the UK, because some of them come from very warm climates. How do they cope with the change in the climate and the environment?
Before they joining us, they usually be interviewed by me and also the head of academics, and I always prompt them. They need to get ready for the change of the weather because psychologically they feel prepared for that. Because England, the weather we live in here for many years, we know what's it like. But for them, come from a very warm country, and to experience this quite miserable weather is not easy. But I always tell them we can't change the weather. Okay, but we can change is our mindset. So get the warm clothes, waterproof clothes on ready, and prepare for the weather. Always talk to the parent, talk to house parent, talk to myself, and when it's a rainy day, put the right clothes on, go for a walk. Okay, we are very lucky. We're not far from the River Thames, only 3 minutes walk, and also for them they can see something they can't change, as I mentioned before, but they can be more positive to accept different, and they know it will happen. This challenge can be overcome. So that is a little step for them to overcome the little step by step.
Very good. And I think another important part of boarding life is the change of the diet. They come from many different backgrounds and culture, and then they come to the UK, and the food can be different. But I believe you have very good catering facilities.
Yes, we're very fortunate.
What type of food? Do you have international cuisine, or do you stick to fish and chips?
No, we don't stick on the fish and chips. We do have a fish and chips occasionally, but because we have two different chefs. Okay, in the morning, we are run by Paul, and in the afternoon, evening, run by our catering manager on it. They're lovely people. One background is that he used to work in the film crew. He catered different people with a different cuisine, and the other one, is from Turkey. He loves food. Okay, he's a big foodie. Okay, and the food ranging from Chinese, Thai, Egyptian food, European food, also the food. No matter you like, just talk to them. And also we have a food committee. Okay, and then we bring a lot of we have a meeting every 3 weeks, and then we meet up, discuss with the chef, what they like and how to improve the menu as well. And apart from that, we celebrate different New Year. And with the student always bring different cuisine and discuss. And for myself, I obsessed with those Egyptian soup, because I don't know how to pronounce it, but I was basically introduced by them, and then know different culture as well. And some of the students, like Ukrainians, they would bring the food to us and share with us as well. And the chef, they're really good. They acquired it and they learn how to cook it properly. And we are really lucky because we see the difference. We welcome the difference.
Of course.
And we celebrate the difference as well.
Well, I haven't heard any complaints, so that means the food must be excellent. I'm glad to hear that. And now, obviously, they're coming into a boarding facility, and but these kids are usually under the age of 18 in the boarding. So, what structure do you have in place for safety, security, safeguarding for the students while they're in the boarding house? Because we're right in the city. When they walk out the first step out of the front door is a city already. So we have a CCTV in the front door. We have a 2-door system, and the house parent every day welcome them back to the boarding house in the security port. And we have a fob system. It's like a key to go through the different door. And when we don't accept any stranger or visitor in the boarding house, and because we make sure they're well looked after by us. And the student have another system. It's called Rich system. Wherever they go out of the boarding house and go in the boarding house, they sign in. And also, if sometime on the weekend they would like to go to Regent Street, also circuits, and they will write down the details, what time they're leaving, what time they're coming back. On that Rich system is an app on their phone. Right. They always ask permission from the house parent first and myself, and then they go out and make sure they're coming back on time. If they're be late, they're well trained. They call the house parent and make sure we're aware where they are. Good. And do you have any support on this, like a buddy system or anything of that sort? Because when they actually come over for the first time, you must give them an induction and give them some advice and procedures and documentation. Yes, before they arrive, they will have a arrival with a handbook to know what's going on, have some ideas, what they can do, what they need to prepare. And then once the student arrive, we have an induction day. We make sure where the area they know. We have a boundary system, and also outside as well. We show them where to go, the laundry, the fire exit, all this they will get familiar with. We have a staff and also the buddy to look after them. We are staff who are also assigned every week. We have a 15 to 20 minutes one-to-one section with the student. It's like a tutor, but we don't classify it as like tutor because they have an academic tutor in the college, but in the boarding house with the house parent, make sure they can get over the homesick, and we call it is like well-being checked, and so they can talk about their friendship, their work, their family, their worries, their joy. No matter happy things or bad things happen, they know there's an adult to support them. Mm-hmm. And obviously, parents, when they send their children from afar, how do they have contact with either the house parent or yourself? Is there a system in place for that?
Yes, they can contact me, through the email and also via Zoom. I have after the induction week, I usually have a meeting on Zoom with the parents overseas, because for them, some of them, they didn't come over for the registration with the children.
Right.
They haven't met me, but I would like to have a meeting with all of them together. Or sometimes they would like to have a one-to-one meeting on Zoom with me. It would be nice, because we can discuss about what their children's need and what they require as well. And at the same time, they can reach me on house parent through email and Zoom at any time.
Well, that's good. And obviously the students are very next door to the main college, where they have all their lectures and classes. But apart from that, what other extracurricular activities do they have that they can enjoy after school and also during the weekend?
Yes, we have quite a busy life for them, schedule for them. On Tuesday, they have activities including the basketball, badminton, volleyball or tennis, depends on which term. And on Wednesday, we always have the football after school. On Thursday, we have a fun Thursday in-house. For example, they're doing, a baking, a hot chocolate, and also, drawing together or building, the gingerbread, and before Christmas, and lantern making as well, to celebrate the different, festival. For example, like Ramadan. On Saturday, we have a Saturday trip. After the brunch time, we usually go on the trip. We are very lucky because we are right in London. We have a trip. The student doesn't need to pay extra, and the trips usually focus on the fun, cultural, and educational, which including like ice skating in Somerset House, St. Paul Cathedral, the guide tour, House of Parliament, Royal Courts of Justice. Go-karting, no, yeah. Paintballing, yes.
Very good.
Yeah, very good. Rock climbing, which we call it, bouldering around the corner. We've done very often. Escape room for fun. London Eye, Buckingham Palace, yes. And also we go to different concerts as well in Barbican, and also the local church and the Temple Church as well. So you can find a lot of information, and also you can see lovely pictures on the Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
Excellent. And I want to go back to the house parents, because the boarders are underage. I assume the house parents, do they live within the boarding house, and are they there 24/7, and they actually can be accessible by any of the students in case they might feel sick or whatever?
All the house parents, they live on site. Each floor we have house parent, and nearby the lift. If a student is not feeling well in the middle of the night, okay, they can call the house parent. All the information and poster is behind each door of a student room.
Right.
So sometimes they need help, and and if they can manage to go to knock on the door, the house parents as well, and they can find help instantly.
Yes.
All the house parents, they are trained for to administer medication. They're first aid trained. And also some is control drugs trained as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. And that's good to hear, because the parents obviously want to feel comfortable that there's somebody there when their kids are in need. And what strengths does David Game College have that they can provide to the students?
Many, I can tell you. I'm going to list it out now. We, as I mentioned, we not only the life skill, and we train the student, have a leadership skill as well. We have students, they elected to be the body ambassador, and we give them a lot of training. They're not like traditional prefect. Okay, do a lot of duty. What they do, we provide the first aid training for them, etiquette training, risk assessment, decision making, and also they have opportunity to meet governors as well, and they understand what the reasons behind each policies made and decisions made, and that really brought into view to understand a lot of decisions before they make. They need to go through a lot of considerations.
Right. Right.
Yes, and of course, they're very delicate. We are very fortunate, and Mr. Games, see them quite often as well. And Mr. Dalton, and apart from the ambassador, we have the committee and also boarding committees. Through this program, we encourage students to speak up, their opinion in a more constructive way, and produce a very feedback for the community. And they work with the different people as well. That not only nurture, a leadership skill and also the social skill and how to solve the problem in a more, diplomatic way as well.
That's good. And the actual boarding, how many beds are there in the boarding? 120. 120. Yes. Obviously, David Game is a very niche college as well, so therefore we don't have the numbers that traditional boarding schools have, 400 or 500 on a 50-acre site and so forth.
No,
these are very specific, isn't it?
Yeah, but all the students have their own room. It's very modern, and
it's like a 4-star hotel. Is that true?
Similar,
Yes.
And also the best thing is we teach them how to iron. We should teach the students how to iron, and tidy up, the room, look after themselves, hygienes wise. Okay, how to cook properly, hygienes, food hygiene as well, and how to live by themselves. This is important because imagine when they're at university, they live by themselves. They not only look after some cooking, and also the emotionally how can be more resilient.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
How can have a right balance between the work and the life as well, because especially some students, they're from overseas, they may not able to articulate this feeling freely, but at the same time they understand there's a way to get help or somebody can talk to.
Yeah, I assume that the transition won't be that great from the boarding life at David Game and the university life as well, which is very important for any new student attending university. Okay, so what message would you like to send to parents that David Game is the place to be?
We provide very safe environment and a really lovely home to the student, especially those from overseas. And myself, coming from the overseas as well, 20 years ago, I understand the feeling of big transitions from them to the new country, new language, new system, new friendship. And the more important thing is that the house parent, they provide very hands-on pastoral care for them 24/7 to look after the students. I think as a parent, myself as a parent as well, I will feel we leave our own children in a very capable hand, in very safe hand.
Very safe hands. Absolutely, yes. Great. Well, thank you very much, Angela, for your time. And if you want more information on all of our courses and any topics discussed in today's podcast, it can be found on davidgamecollege.com. And thank you to everyone who has been listening to the podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.